Very good day and welcome to each and every one of you joining us for this pre-recorded show. We are recording very early on the Wednesday for the Thursday meeting, the 31st of July. There's obviously Hollywoodbets Scottsville racing today, and then we are recording the show for the 31st of July, and that is at the Vaal Classic track. Now, on the line, none other than Alistair Cohen. Firstly, Alistair, how are you doing? And then what do you think of the card?
Yeah, good day, Sheldon. Obviously, the story of the day is very much going to be the final day of Pierce Stratum. What a treat it's been. You and I and all racing fans have been really lucky over the last, 30 or so years to watch a genius at work. And this will be the last day that we get a chance to honour Striker. He won't be lost to the game, thankfully. But certainly from the saddle, there'll be no more Pierce Stratum. And what a legend he's been. The end of the season, I think it's been a wonderful season from all corners of the country, all starting sort of that Cape Town ball rolling and then going on to Joburg and the Western Cape, and then champion season for me this year was out of the top draw. So, yep, really looking forward to it, and I quite like the card. Might be out of season, but there are a few races where I think we can go light and one or two where I think we can pick up a result. My type of card, if I'm honest.
I love to hear that, and the viewers will be looking really forward to going through the selections. Right, let's get straight into race number 1, 12:15 over a trip of 1,600 meters, where number 3, Singleton Sam, is your 18-10 favourite. Number 6, Red Light, Green Light, 22-10. How's the money for number 1, Mighty Eagle, 8-1, down 33-10. This is coming back from a 53-day absence. And then you have number 2, Red Penny, at 4-1. 6-1 and better the rest. First, let's talk about that money about number 1, Mighty Eagle. Are you surprised about that?
Very much so, Sheldon. He's held by 2 horses in the race. On the 22nd of May, he finished behind Red Light, Green Light, and they meet on identical terms. So from that point of view, a length and a half to turn around, not inconceivable. And also Red Light, Green Light comes off a layoff. But it's still a lightly raced horse, Red Light, Green Light. We may have the potential to carry that forward. And then on the last run behind Tin Pan Alley, that was prepping into Hollywoodbets Durbanville July Day, he's got 4 lengths to turn around with Red Penny, trained by Paul Matchett, and Craig Zaki gets the ride. So I'll be surprised. With that said, Mighty Eagle does have the measure of Singleton Sam on the run on the 22nd of May. So that puts a question mark next to the favourite, who won a weak maiden, to be fair, last time, but won it in good style. And I think that the further he goes, the more he races, the better he'll be. A lot of stamina in the pedigree. All in all, Sheldon, I think this is one of the more trappy races. I think the horse that I definitely think the horse that I'm gravitating towards is number 2, Red Penny, with Craig Zaki on board for Paul Matchett. All the form lines have worked out well, even the well-beaten last time. I still think that he's worth judging on the form to Charming Cheetah and Nyaka, who represents a little bit of constellation form, which has sparked up as one of the strongest 2-year-old lines across the country. All those form lines, as I mentioned, has worked out nicely. Example from the last start, Chronicle King came out and won and finished just ahead of Red Penny, and there are a few others in and around King Harold, anything but disgraced in that start as well, and not disgraced in the Grade 1 penultimate start. Tin Pan Alley, who finished behind Red Penny and ran behind Zalatoris, who's now a feature race winner, has come out and won. So I'm making a very strong case for Red Penny being the likely winner in race number 1.
Right, let's move swiftly on to race number 2, where number 4, Blushing Bloom, from the Van Vuren stable, Gavin Larena for the Verners, Stonebridges, has found a ton of support. 16-10. They said thank you very much. Now 12-10. Are you strong on Blushing Bloom?
Know something, Sheldon? Yes, I am strong on number 4, Blushing Bloom. The money is not surprising. Draw 1's going to be a big advantage. Things just went a little bit back to front last time out with Blushing Bloom, when finishing second behind a seriously talented stable companion in the form of Romilly. Gets Gavin Larena on board. I think this daughter of Flower Alley will love the long run at the Vaal. First time going on a long run and around the turn, and from what I'm told, she'll be a very, very hard horse to beat, and figures as a bypass and place accumulator banker. There's obviously a winning chance with quite a few others. Number 1, Iconic Winter, good second last time behind stable companion Surprise Party. She would have needed her runs back. She was off for over a year. Her first start back was pretty much expected. Second start back was much better. She'll be fitter and better with a run under the belt, but a 3-year-old against a progressing rising 3-year-old. I have my doubts. Empress Wu, I think, is going to win a race, maybe more than just a race, but I think that win's going to come over 1,000 meters rather than 1,200 meters. So they're back at the well over 1,200. And here's a little tidbit of information. Put number 5, Emerald Countess, into your quartet. Cannot possibly say that she's got a winning chance on the back of her debut where she was so horrifically green. And Candace on the parade and said, oh my word, this is a disaster. But she's come on like you cannot believe at work. Winning chance, I cannot possibly say that, but throw into your quartet, she can make it pay. Candace is optimistic that she'll run an infinitely better race, but very hesitant to say that she can win it.
As we move along to race number 3, and the money has come for number 1, Xenophon. And talking of Pierce Stradum, he'll be looking to make his mark and make a big mark in a big way in the final meeting there. 15-10 down, 12-10. Number 11, Power of Pearls, is 2-1. And they seem to have the race to themselves on betting because you can get 8 and 10-1 and better the rest.
Sheldon, I think it's a 2.5 horse race. The half a horse is number 8, Captain Frank, who showed good improvement after gelding. The expectations were tempered on debut, but I think they were disappointed with the run that he put up when beaten 15 lengths by Sunset Warrior. I don't think they expected him to blow up quite like that, but gelded and a better run second time behind Romilly. If that form is Frank to race early like you expected, cast a little eye on number 8, Captain Frank. It won't be too straightforward for him from a deep draw, but I think that he'll close the deficit, and he won't be, if he's gone from 15 lengths back to 7 lengths back, I think he'll sort of be 2-3 lengths back this time around, and that should be good enough to get him into the top 3. Number 1 on the card, Xenophon, related to some top quality sprinters, Dreamworld and Dreamland. Dreamland runs on Saturday. Dreamworld trained by Vaughan Marshall. I think there's some big targets for him when the sun is bright in Cape Town. As you mentioned, Pierce Stradum on board his final day in the saddle. Really looking forward to saying goodbye to him. Sean Terry been a little bit quiet, but a matter of time before a big yard and a champion yard like that turns around. Little worried about the form lines, I must be honest, Sheldon. I remember him on debut. I was at Turffontein. He was well above himself behind Soho Heartthrob, but I thought it was a good introduction all the same. Second time out on Daily Newsday, he was a totally different horse. He was much calmer, much more relaxed. I thought, here we go. And he made up a ton of ground, but I expected more from number 1, Xenophon, on that occasion. And again, at Hollywoodbets Scottsville last time out, even though he went off to the front, he always looked like there were 2 better than him in the race. It wasn't as if you were disappointed that he didn't win the way that he ran. It's not like he left anything out there on that occasion for number 1, Xenophon. So, although he's a fitter horse in the market rival, a little bit worried that he hasn't quite put it together. This is what I can tell you about number 11, Power of Pearl. She's held in high regard. She does come back from a minor injury, but that may have been more of a blessing than a curse. Craig Zaki down to 54.5, draw 1. She's been given time off to mature after that minor injury. Her debut was very good behind Read All About It. She would naturally step forward with a run under the belt. If she doesn't need it too badly, I'd motivate her as a very good winning chance. The fact that she's coming off a 9-month break, or an 8-month break rather, leads me to say that she can win if Xenophon does have serious vulnerabilities, but keep an eye on her going forward. But she'll go very close, number 11, Power of Pearls.
Now, race number 4, we should be brief and sharp, as I'd like to say, a penalty kick without a goalkeeper, number 8, Radio Star. And look at the horse he ran behind last time. What did he do on Gold Cup Day?
He won a Grade 1 by more than 2.7 lengths, finishing in front of high-quality individuals in the form of Tin Pan Alley Chronicle, King Harold, Malmesbury Missile, Charming Cheetah, etc., etc., etc. If he doesn't win here, Sheldon, there'll be serious soul-searching to do. I can't see him missing. Gavin Arenas aboard. I'll tell you what's cost him. On debut, came from near the back of the field, made up a lot of ground, beaten by a seriously progressive youngster trained by Mike and Matthew de Kock. Second time out was only the draw that killed him. Again, he took his medicine. He was given a patient ride. He unwound just a little bit too late. Still green, still wet behind the ears. And last time he may have bitten off more than he can chew. Let's not forget, just in front of him was a horse called Shadowfax, who was one of the eye catchers on Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. If he's not a pick 6 banker for you, then I don't know what you found here. The only way that you think he can get beaten is if you think he's a brass. There's no way that I can say that at the moment. I think that he's a hard horse to beat. I'll be devastated, shocked, and surprised if he doesn't get the job done. Bank for an all bets, number 8, Radio Star, in the first leg of the pick 6, Sheldon.
Then on to race number 5, number 2, Nkwendezi. Pierce Stratum rides as the second favourite at 33-10. But number 8, Babette's Feast from the Mike and Matthew de Kock stable. A daughter of Hawam. First time they flooded the money on, but I think the mile's going to be the winning formula.
Correct, Sheldon. I'm with you in that stance, but I'm also not convinced that I'm willing to hold this to just 2 horses. Let's start with Babette's Feast. There was a lot of talk on debut about this daughter of Hawam, who I think is going to start having a lot of winners. What's interesting is I've just pulled up the family, and they're all sprinters, but they're by Canford Cliffs. African Memoir, trained by Andre Null, won recently, and I think there's a lot more to come. And then Secret Identity was trained by Michelle Riggs and Harold Crawford, won a minor feature over 1,400 meters, but the moment they stretched her, she was left a little bit susceptible to horses that stayed a little bit better. But being by Hawam, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt that the Cocks are not going to throw over 1,600 meters and scratch their heads and hit and hope. They obviously believe that she'll stay. And on the debut, which wasn't all that bad, may have been a bit disappointing at the time, I'd put it down to an inside draw that may have also cost her getting a little bit closer, and she's worth keeping on sides about because I know that she is held in high regard. As you mentioned, number 2, Nkwendezi with Striker on board. If there's a filly in Joburg who deserves a win, it will be her. Banging at the door, near misses. She should have won a few times. She hasn't got the job done. She has conspired to get herself beat. And if anyone can get a filly like this across the line and boost her confidence and keep her quiet and not get her to think about anything that's underneath her, it's Striker on board. So she has got a legitimate winning chance. From there, number 3, Matiatsa, I put her in because Trey Zaki's on board. I just think of Andrew Fortune's interview when he rode Walgram on the 27th of March and what he said about Matiatsa. But with that said, she's hinting that a win's around the corner. She drops to a mile, which I think is key. And the other horse I've got in is 9 and 10. I've got them in as well. Hot Coca would have needed that last run badly behind Anchorage. I looked at it in the parade ring, obviously because Candace at Anchorage, and there was a highly thought of Van Furen horse in that race in the form of Alpine Jet. I looked at her closely. She looked very soft. She looked underdone, but she'll take a big step forward with that run under the belt, and she should have no issues over this trip. The mare went 2,000 meters. She ran second in the Summer Cup. And then number 10, Witching Hour, also hints at a horse that might have a win around the corner. I'll make it a very complex race. 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10, my inclusions, and the pick 6, which is my suggested bet.
Stepping on the gas to race number 6, where number 9, Hong Kong, well, after the Gold Cup meeting, that could be an omen with the World Cup pool, the World Pool Race meeting. 22-10 for me just seems to be a little bit on the skinny side. I make this a very tricky race. I went through each and every runner, and I couldn't make heads or tails. How do you see this race panning out, Alistair?
On the same boat, Sheldon. Although I've got Hong Kong in, I'm also not convinced 22-10 is a backable price. But you'd have to put her in. But if you have a look at the penultimate start, Exceedingly Glam, who I've left out, has her absolutely held. The reason why I've left out Exceedingly Glam is because I think that she'll have a couple of stamina question marks over 1,400 meters. I know she's placed over the trip before, or 1,450, 1,400, but I think she's most effective over 1,200 meters. So I think that might just catch her out. That's why I've left her out. I'm leaning towards number 5, Blind Ambition here, Sheldon. Brett Webber's yard's in good heart. Jason Gates is in good heart. He runs very well at the Vaal, although that's predominantly down the straight, not necessarily around the turn. She arrived in Joburg with some dominant performances. Handicapper may have got stuck into her, but in her penultimate start, she returned post-race distressed. Last time, a fair run behind Miss Hannigan. What level was that? There was a similar type of level to this, but she returned fatigued. I think at her home course, you can expect a lot better from number 5, Blind Ambition. So I'm willing to motivate a good each-way bet on her. If she doesn't win, I think she'll be in the top 3 at a reasonable price. From there, number 3, Miss Leah, feature race to the last 2. Anything but disgrace at the penultimate start in the 3 Troikers behind Gimme Fabulous. Largely consistent until she tried a mile last time and from a deep draw. Any amounts of excuses. Been laid off a while, so fitness to be taken on trust, but she's a nice filly. She's worth including. 7 Famous Lady is bang on my radar, Sheldon. Rating drop's going to help her chances. 1450 is going to help her chances. On the run of the 28th of June, she finished in front of Blind Ambition, and she has a valuable thing at the waist to stay in front of her, number 7, Famous Lady. So she's definitely worth putting in. And number 8, Destiny of Fire. I'm running out of patience with her, but draw 1's going to help her chances. She was fair without being spectacular in Durban. I know the de Koks think that she's still got a few wins to come. Runs to Gerber a jump off the page, so I'll put her in number 8, Destiny of Fire. So the 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9. If you were looking for another, it would undoubtedly go down the page. Number 10, Exceedingly Glam, but I do have stamina queries about it.
Penultimate race of the, or not the penultimate race, there's still 2 after that, races 8 and 9 to come, being a 9-race program. But looking at race number 7, number 1, Too Late My Mate, is 16 to 10. Number 5, Whirly Bird at 7 to 2. Saigon Susie, number 10, is 9 to 2, and then you can get 7 to 1 and better the rest. Looking at number 1, Too Late My Mate, Gavin Arena jumps aboard. The average rating was a 95 last time out, was pushed up to 100, dropped down to an 84. I believe this is her race to lose. Are you in the same camp?
Absolutely, undoubtedly. And this is one of the races where I looked through it and I said, right, let me find a horse to beat Too Late My Mate. But I simply can't. As you mentioned, the quality that she's been running with, Gavin Arena on board for Alec Laird, ran against boys last time. I know that was in the middle stakes, and middle stakes weight terms do favour Philip. She came in with a very lightweight, but there was a flood of support for her. For me, she was beaten by a nice horse. I know Bust Up and Hounslow fluffed his lines over the weekend, but with that said, he's a horse to keep on sides with. She's feature raced. She's never been disgraced at that type of level. You mentioned the average rating from a 95 to a 75. Further rating dropped once to 100, now down to an 84. So drops another pound between runs. Sheldon, if she got beaten, I'd be very, very surprised. I've had a good look at the likes of Whirly Bird, number 5, 6, Maverick Queen. Further down the page, number 10, Saigon Susie, who would figure as my second choice, but I don't think they got the class at number 1, Too Late My Mate. I think she'll shoulder the weight, and I think that she'll come through race number 7, and she'll be a pick 6 banker for me, the second one on the card.
Well, glad to hear that, because the 16 to 10 looks to be the way to go, and we'll be having a bet on Too Late My Mate, expected to win. On to race number 8, where number 1, Foster Nova, is scratched. Let me just double check. Yes, scratched number 1. And the St. John Grey stable has a strong hanger with the top 2 in the betting. Number 5, Palace Prince, 16 to 10. Number 3, After Hours, from 7 to 2 down 28 to 10. And then we have number 8, Across the Bow, at around 9 to 2. Are you in the camp of either of the St. John Grey runners, or are you looking elsewhere?
Sure, that I'm more in the camp for number 3, After Hours, if I'm honest.
10-time winner.
Ultimate ride. 10-time winner, what a horse, 95 starts, he's close to raising his bat, he's got draw 1, he runs particularly well in the Vaal Classic track. If he doesn't win, he generally goes close. Just watch the last rerun, he was desperately unlucky. For me, he should have won the race, but he just ran into traffic. He's the horse that they all need to beat, this number 3, After Hours. St. John Grey has done a great job keeping him on the straight and narrow, and for what it's worth, St. John's yard has come to life, and when his yard is in form, be with me, they all run big races. So number 3, After Hours, the horse that I'm leaning towards. He's not a one-horse race. Number 5, Palace Prince, one-eyed horse, got a cracking turn of foot. A little blunted last time behind Obsidian, but he's definitely worth another chance. Gavin Arena's on board. For St. John Grey, this is St. John's family, the Dance Alley, therefore Dance with the Devil, Hey Alley, all those type of horses that have done him so well. So expect more to come from Palace Prince as time goes on. I think he's got a winning chance. Those are St. John's 2 horses, but the race doesn't stop there. Fourth Fail the Sky was encouraging to a point last time over a distance that I think is short of his best. This, of course, is related to the horse that won the World Sports Betting KZN Guineas in the former Sail the Seas. Finished 4th behind Parla Millions. Cabello Mazzaniani is on board for Chris Yonker. This horse has been on the boil. This will be his 4th start in the space of a month, but he generally runs solid races. He does look held by After Hours on that run to Royal Horizon at the start of the month, but he can pop up. And then 2 others I've got, a number 8, Across the Bow. Sheldon, rating drop. I know the draw's not advantage, but he goes up to a trip that I think he's been crying out for. He can be quirky, so unfortunately you're going to know your fate on the way down to the start. But if he does behave and puts it all together, this horse has got Cape Town form that would make him an absolute good thing. But he's just not the easiest to trust, but I think he's now down to a workable mark. And with Weber and Gates, number 9, Commander of All, also worth including. Again, another rating drop, lightweight. So this is the type of race that sets up for a lightweight to be quite dangerous. So I've got 5 of the 8 horses in the race, and summarizing 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9, but with number 3 being my top choice.
And then we'll all be looking forward to race number 9, the master himself, Pierce Stradham. Take a bow. He'll be riding the favourite number 1, Summer Winter, and the race is named the legend Pierce Striker Stradham, who rode the Pick 6 in July 1990, a 76 handicap, and that at 16 to 10. How do you rate Summer Winter? Will Stradham go off on a winning note?
It's like it's meant to be, isn't it? I think she's got a huge winning chance, although I've got 3 horses in my pick 6. Summer Winter, I can tell you the horse that she smashed at her penultimate start over this distance is not all that bad. Hawksdale, she'll win her races. She went to Durban on Hollywoodbets Durban July. For me, she moved up a winner and just didn't go on with it. The other 2, Rugger Lover and the second place horse, just ran the finish out of her. I think it may have just been a stretch over 1,200 metres. I think they now resigned to the fact, the Aussies are resigned to the fact that 1,000 metres is her go. And from that perspective, yes, she is my top choice, number 1, Summer Winter. And to be fair, bar the connections and everyone that's involved with the other 9 horses in the race, the rest of South Africa will be shouting number 1, Summer Winter home. It'll be so appropriate for Striker to finish on a strong note and a winning note and say goodbye with a winner. The other 2 that I've got in Sheldon, number 5, Dealmaker. Although 2020 Vision was beaten over the weekend, Dealmaker came with quite a reputation. Let's see how she goes. Maybe the second run will bring her along. So she's worth including, because she's one of those, if she won, you'd kick yourself if you didn't have her in. And then this filly, number 7, Gaelic Dancer, has been on my radar most of the year, to be honest. She's had such hard luck stories. The run on the 27th of April where the apprentice dropped the rain late, that was where I said to myself, right, I'm going to keep an eye on this filly. Then she was unlucky on the 15th of May at the Vaal, where I was there, and she ran 3 lengths behind Sylvan Warrior. She should have got a much closer into the finish. Does she win? Absolutely not, but she should have got a lot closer. Penultimate start behind Faith Van I thought much more like it, finishing second. And then last time again, she ran into traffic on the Hollywoodbets Greyville poly track. I'm expecting her to go close, number 7, Gaelic Dancer, and without being swayed by number 5, Dealmaker, I'd make her the biggest danger to number 1, Summer Winter. 1, 5, and 7 to finish the pick 6, and I'm pretty confident that we're on the right track here.
For my 5 cents worth, number 2, the Navy Lock at around 16 to 1. Damien Pillay takes the weight off the back with 54.5 kilograms. Finished 4th behind Global Thunder recently, so if all's gone well, is this a horse to include in the exactas and the trifectas?
Sheldon, I will not go against you. We'll put her into everything. I'm a big fan of Damien Pillay, especially with a 4-kilo claim. I know he hasn't had a winner since his injury, but he's not had too many rides. For Uncle Harry, let's throw in number 2, the Navy Lock. But she'd be the 4th inclusion in a pick 6, which I think is quite affordable. So it allows punters to throw in the likes of a few others that might catch your eye.
Excellent. So now it's time to get on to the business end, a suggested bet for the day. Let's take it away and see what we get to go.
Yeah, so let's do it. Like I said, it's quite an affordable perm. We're not stretching the budget too much at the end of the month. Race number 4, first leg of the pick 6, starts at 2 o'clock. Banker number 8, Radio Star. Very hard to beat. 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10 in Quinquezi. Matiazzo, Babette's Feast, Hot Coca, and Witching Hour. 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9, Miss Leah, Blind Ambition, Famous Lady, Destiny of Fire, and Hong Kong. By Banker number 1, Too Late My Mate. Penultimate leg, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. After Hours, Sail the Sky, Palace Prince, Across the Bow, and Commander of All. And final leg, 1, 5, and 7. Summer Winter, Dealmaker, and Gaelic Dancer.
Ending of the show, all eyes will be on Pierce Stradham to go off with a bang, Alistair.
Yeah, absolutely. What a career, what a legend, what a treat it's been to follow him, to watch him, to listen to him. And nearly 6,000 winners will be the tally. We'll get the official tally, I'm sure, on Thursday. And just thanks for the memory, Striker. It's been an absolute pleasure, been an honour, been a privilege. And we'll see you on the other side, certainly on the tee box very, very soon.
Super, thank you very much, Alistair. And as you mentioned, you like the card. I also like it. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we can make some money. So thanks very much for your input, and let's hope they can do it on the track for us.
Cheers, Sheldon. Thanks so much. And have a good end to the season and a brilliant start Friday night. Hollywoodbets Greyville. What a way to start on the 1st of August.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen joining us on the line. All I've got to say is best of luck, and hopefully your horse runs faster than the rest of them.